Okay, good day guys. So, continuation ng ating problem solving computation regarding the stresses of soil in soil So, next problem 4.12 siya. So, basahin ko lang. A soil profile consists of clay layer underlain by a sand. So, meron tayong soil profile, merong clay layer, and merong sand. So, dalawa yung ating soil layer. So, isang clay at isang sand. And layer as shown in the figure 3.38. So, yan yung natin. So, yung clay nasa ibabaw and yung sand nasa ilalim. Okay? And a tube is inserted. So, as you can see, ito yung tube natin. Yan, yung may 1.2 na yan, ito. So, inilubog hanggang dun sa may sand layer, Okay? And, a tube is inserted into the bottom sand layer and the water level rises to 1.2 above the ground surface, So, nung nilubog daw yung ating tube, ang nangyari ay tumaas yung tubig hanggang doon. So, nung sinukat ay merong 1.2 meter from the ground level. And given sa figure, yung ating GWL or the groundwater level. So, initially, yan yung kanyang groundwater level. And, tandaan nyo na kapag kailangan ay mga effective stress, mga stresses in soil, so kailangan niyang ating mga unit weight. Unit weight ng bawat layer, Unit weight ng bawat layer. If it is saturated unit weight, moist unit weight, or the buoyant unit weight kung anong given. So, in this problem, ang given ay saturated unit weight sa part ng sand ay 17 kN per cubic meter. Sa sand layer yon. And 19 kN per cubic meter dun sa clay below the water level. Okay? Below the water level. Ito, hanggang dito lang yung kanyang saturated unit weight. And nasa figure na itong 18.5 ay dito sa part ng above the water level. So, below 1 meter ground, yung ating tubig. And 18.5 kN per cubic meter yung saturated unit weight nung clay layer doon. Okay? So, kung natatandaan nyo, magiging fully saturated yung kanyang unit weight kapag lubog sa tubig. So, dito sa problem na to, hindi in-indicate kung ito ba ay 100% saturated, hindi in-indicate. Pero ang nakalagay dito is saturated unit weight, meaning to say, fully saturated siya. Hindi lang sinabi kung due to capillary rise or hindi lang sinabi due to capillary rise, the clay layer above the water level being saturated, fully saturated. Okay, hindi sinabi. So, i-assume na lang natin na yung capillary rise, because of the capillary rise, nagkaroon ng 100% saturation dito. So, 18.5 kN per cubic meter, So, sometimes, there is no capillary rise. So, minsan yan ay moist unit weight lang. Okay, moist unit weight lang. Mamasa-masa lang, Pero dito sa figure, ginibin niya kasi na saturated siya. Okay? And meron tayong mga point dyan kung saan pinapahanap yung mga stresses natin. Point A, point B, and point C. Okay? So, analyze natin kung ito ba ay without seepage or with seepage. So, tandaan nyo na without seepage siya kapag yung water dito, halimbawa, ay lumibel doon sa groundwater line natin. So, without seepage yon. Okay? Pero pag ganito, sa nangyari dito ay mas nagkaroon ng head difference, Head difference between the groundwater level and the reading dun sa tube. So, meaning, meron diyang pagdaloy, may hydraulic gradient yan, may pag-flow of water dyan sa ilalim. Ibig sabihin, may pressure dun sa ilalim dito. Okay? So, yung clay kasi parang mas nag-serve siya as semi-impervious material layer, Kaya nagkaroon siguro ng pressure difference, Yan. So kapag ganyan, ang tendency niyan mas tumaas dito, ibig sabihin yung flow of water dun sa ilalim is pataas. Ano? Pataas yung kanyang flow, upward seepage. Kumbaga ano. So gaya nung diniscuss natin na kapag yung water level ay yung water level dun sa piezometer o kaya kung anong tube ay mas mataas dun sa original ground water level, ang ibig sabihin nun ay yung flow or seepage is upward, upward. While kapag naman mas mababa, halimbawa, hanggang dito lang siya, hanggang dito lang yung tubig, and the original line, level line is hanggang dyan. So mas mababa doon, so ibig sabihin the flow of water or the seepage is downward, Okay, but this time in this problem, upward seepage siya, And during the upward seepage, tinatanong tayo ano daw ang effective stress sa mga point na yan. Yan. Ano yung effective stress sa mga point na yan. So yan determine the effective stress at point A, point B, and point C. Okay? So unahin muna natin sa point A. Okay. So we all know that the effective stress is the difference between the total stress at some point or at any point and minus the pore water pressure or the neutral stress or the stress due to induced by water. So dito, sa point A muna tayo. Okay. And since merong head difference dyan, so hindi natin pwedeng hindi lagyan din ng tusok na tube. Kasi kailangan nating malaman yung pressure head difference dyan. Okay? Pressure head difference. Kasi upward seepage siya, malamang sa malamang ay tataas ang tubig dyan pag tinusukan natin ng tubo dyan. Okay? And yun ang kailangan natin kasi kailangan natin yung pore water pressure para makuha yung effective stress. Yun ang i-minus mo di ba? And para makuha yung pore water pressure at point A, so kailangan natin ng head reading dyan. Head reading. Kailangan mong malaman to. Yung difference ng level dito sa tube na ilalagay natin and the original groundwater level. Ayun, yung maliit na yan. Kailangan nating malaman yan. H sub A, sabihin na lang natin ganon, Yan. And ang kailangan nating head para makakuha yung or depth para makuha yung pore water pressure at point A, so kailangan natin yung total height niya hanggang dun sa point A na yon. So sabihin na lang natin na H prime A ganun. So basta yan kung ano man yung gamitin. Yon. So tusukan natin. So ganito yung mangyayari diyan yan. Yan. So nagtusok siya ng tubo. Sa point A lang muna tayo and the tendency of the water level at inside the tube is to rise. Kasi upward seepage siya, to rise. So assume natin na yung H sub A ay ayan, H sub A. Okay, yan yung head difference between the groundwater level and the head reading at the tube na inilubog dun sa point A, Yan. And para malaman yan, so by continuity equation, yung ating hydraulic gradient is the same sa lahat. Yung I dito, hydraulic gradient dito sa part na to, is the same doon and the same also doon, kahit saan. So continuity equation yan. So at point A, so ang kailangan muna nating makuha, siyempre, yung overall hydraulic gradient, yung tutok dito sa baba. Okay, yung tutok dyan sa baba ay ditong point na yan, yung tube na yan. So, kailangan natin kunin yung hydraulic gradient dyan. So, hydraulic gradient dyan is H over L, difference in head ng groundwater level and yung reading. So, 2.2. 2.2 yung naka-indicate, And over L, yung distance kung saan nag-travel yung kapal nung aquifer, kapal nung layer, kapal nung layer kung saan nagdaloy yung ating tawag dito, tubig, And ang kapal nun is ayun, pinag-plus-plus niya, pinag-plus-plus niya. So 2.2, ayun, nakita nyo. 2.2, ito yon. So kasi given yung 1 meter, so ang difference nito is 2.2, di ba? And yung length na inano niya na kinonsider niya is hanggang dito. Yan. Yan. Yung dinaluyan lang ng tubig, ano. Yan, yung dinaluyan ng tubig. So, ang pinag-plus-plus niya yan, 2 plus 1.5 plus 2. Okay. Yun o, nasa ilalim. So, 2 plus 1.5 plus 2. So, yung I, yung hydraulic gradient natin is equivalent to 0.4. Ano, tama? 0.4. Okay? Kasi yung dinaluyan ng tubig natin is ito, ano? Yan. Water level hanggang doon. Okay? So, H over L. Okay, and then, 0.4, ano. Tapos, dapat yung hydraulic gradient natin is the same for all, ano. So, i-equate natin yung hydraulic gradient dito sa part na to, dito sa point A. So, HA over yung L na ito. Yan, and that is 2 meters. No, so, HA over 2 multiplied is equivalent to 0.4. Ayun o. HA over 2 is equivalent to 0.4. So, therefore, to find the value of H sub A, so we have to multiply 0.4 by 2. So, 0.8 meter. 0.8 meter yung difference in head dito. Between the groundwater level, GWL, and the head reading dun sa tubo. Inside the tube. Ano? Yan. Now, pwede na nating ma-determine yung effective stress. Bakit? Kasi nakuha na natin yung line dyan, yung level ng tubig dyan sa loob ng tube na itinusok dyan sa point A. So, ito yon. Yan. Okay, pag nakuha natin yung H dyan, so pwede na nating makuha yung pore water pressure. Okay, unit weight ng water lang times yung H na yan. So, pore water pressure yon. So, how about the total pressure at point A? So, again, dito tayo titingin. Simula doon sa taas hanggang pababa doon sa A. Okay. So, unit weight nito, multiplied by 1 meter. Okay. And then, plus, unit weight nito, multiplied by 2 meters. Yun yung total pressure pa lang yun. Balik. Yan o, tama. So, 19 times 2. That is the unit weight dun sa clay layer, and then 18.5. Clay layer din siya, kaya lang above the water table. So, tama. Yan yung total pressure. But the effective pressure yung target natin. So, kailangan nating hanapin yung pore water pressure. Ito yon. So, 9.81 times yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina na ito. Yan. Yung height nyan times yung 9.81. Okay? So, 2 plus yung HA. So, 2 plus HA. Ano ba yung HA na nakuha natin? That is 0.8. So, 2.8. Ano? Ayan. So, ito yon. As you can see, 2 plus 0.8 multiply by 9.81 unit weight of water. And 27.468 kilopascal yung ating pore water pressure. And the effective stress is the difference of the total and the pore water pressure. So, ito na yung sagot. So, 56.5 minus nyo lang yung 27. So, yan yung effective stress at point A. Okay? So, how about at point B naman? So, ganun pa din yung process. Tutusukan ulit natin na hanggang dun lang sa level ng point B. Ano? So, tusok ng tubo. Okay, tube. And, nung binasa yung ating reading dun sa tubo ay the difference of the GWL and the head reading is HB. Okay? So again, gagamitin ulit natin yung hydraulic gradient na 0.4, ano. Then this time is HB over yung dinaanan ng tubig. HB over yung dinaanan ng tubig is ito. Yan. Okay? So yan ay 1.5 plus 2. So 3.1 ano ba to? 3.5 ano? 1.5 plus 2 3.5. Yan. You know. So 1.5 plus 2 3.5 and then multiply by 0.4. So 1.4 yung magiging reading doon. Ano? 1.4. So kung 1.4 ito ay 1 lang. So mas mataas doon sa ground level natin. Okay? And yun na yung kailangan natin para makuha yung ating pore water pressure. So, pamula doon hanggang dun sa babang yun ay hanggang point B. So, yun na yung total depth na kailangan natin na i-multiply sa 9.81 or unit weight of water para makuha yung neutral stress. Ano? So, 1.5 plus 2 plus yung HB na. No? So, multiply by 9.81. Yun na yung pore water pressure at point B. Ayan o. 3.5 plus yung HB na 1.4. 3.5 times 1.4. And then multiply it by 9.81. We will get the pore water pressure 48.069 kilopascal. Okay, ito yung kailangan nating i-minus doon sa total pressure. And the total pressure, doon sa point B, tingin ulit tayo sa figure. So, pamula ulit doon sa pinaka-ground level. And pagbasa ng pressure ha. Pamula doon and then hanggang doon sa baba. So, unit weight dito sa part na to ay ayun, 18.5. 18.5 kN per cubic meter minus times 1 meter. And nandito na tayo sa part na to. So, 19 kN per cubic meter multiplied by 2. And 17 kN per cubic meter multiplied by 1.5. So, yun yung total. Total stress at point B yun. Total stress at point B. Okay. To find the effective stress at point B, so we have to take the difference of the total stress and the pore water stress. So, minus lang. So, ganun lang kasimple. Okay. And lalabas sa sagot ay 33.931 kilopascal. Okay, kung tama yung pagpindot, ano? So, now at point C naman, at point C, so, tumama yung at point C ay sa bottom. So, tumama na dito. So, no need to find the H, ano? Given na eh. Ito na yung given. Ito na yung basa niya eh. Okay? So, all we have to do is to apply the concept of the pore water pressure computation, ano? So, total pore water muna. Subukan natin. Pore water muna. Pore water pressure. So, 9.81 yan. 9.81 multiplied saan? Dun sa total depth hanggang dun sa point C sa pinakailalim. Okay? And yung total niyan is ilan yan? 2 plus 2 ilan yan? 4 plus 2 plus 2 ito plus 2 4 plus 1.5 5.5 siya, and then plus natin yung 2.2, ano, yun lang yun. Then multiply lang natin yan o. So pinilas lang yung 2.2 ano, dun sa 5.5. Then multiply sa 9.81, we will get the value for the pore water pressure, P sub W. And yun yung kailangan natin i-minus dun sa total pressure. Ngayon, paano ulit? Total pressure, paulit-ulit lang po, ano po? Yan. At point C, the total pressure is pamula ulit doon. So, pababa. So, 18.5 multiplied by 1 meter plus 19 multiplied by 2 meters. So, nandito na tayo sa part na yan. And then, 17 kN per cubic meter multiplied by yung 3.5. 2 plus 1.5. So, nandun na tayo sa point C. Okay? Yun yung total stress, ano? Yan, oh. Nakikita nyo, di ba? Ito, 3.5, 2, and 1. So, yun yung total stress, and then, yun yung maminusan natin ng pore water pressure, ano? Pore water pressure. And then, we will get the effective stress at point C equal to 40.463. Okay? So, yun. Yun yung ating sagot doon sa mga tanong, ano? Okay, next problem. Next problem tayo. A cut is made in a stiff. Okay, parang nilagyan ng kanal. Kinat dito, yung cut. So, rectangular, ano siya? Rectangular channel. So, saturated clay that is underlain by a layer of sand. Okay, nakapatong o naka-underlay, nakahimlay doon sa ating sand. Okay, nasan yung sand natin? So, nakahimlay daw si clay. So, nasa ilalim yung ating sand. Okay? Nasa ilalim. And as shown in the figure. Okay, given yung figure, yan. So, saturated clay is 19. And also the saturated sand is 18 kilonewton per cubic meter. Yung tubig dito sa kanal, ayan. So in a function of H, in function of H siya. And given yung dimension ng ating kanal, so 5 meters yung kanyang height, and 7 meters naman yung total thickness of our clay, and that is being saturated by water. And yung sand naman 2 meters lang yung thickness niya, 2 meters thickness, and having a saturated unit weight of 18 kilonewton per cubic meter. Okay, at point A, so may point A dyan, tinusukan ng tubo, and then the reading is here. Ito yung naging reading, 4.5 meters daw. And samantalang itong ground water level is yan lang. In a function of H. Okay? So tanong, calculate the total stress at point A as a function of H. Okay? So tandaan nyo na yung stress or the pressure is kung ano lang yung binubuhat niya. Ano lang bang binubuhat niya? So itong tubig na to and itong part na ito. Yan. So total stress 'yon, total stress. Okay, tandaan niyo 'yan, ha. So wag niyo isasama. Wag niyo isasama pati ito, ha. Wag niyo isasama 'yan. So hanggang dito lang tayo. So, ano lang point nito, no? Okay? So okay, kunin natin yung total stress at point A muna, no? In a function of H daw. So hindi natin alam in a function of H. So unahin natin yung tubig. 9.81 times H 'yan. 9.81 times H. Okay, plus yung unit weight nitong clay na yan. Saturated siya. So 19 times 7 minus 5, So yung thickness na to So dos yan, 2 meters. So 19 times 2. Ayan So yan. Ayan 19 times 2. So 7 minus 5. And then 9.81 times yung H natin. So our total stress at point A in a function of H is given by 38 plus 9.81 H. So yan yung sagot. Sagot na yan. Okay, next letter B. Calculate the neutral stress at point A. Neutral stress daw. Pag sinabing neutral ay pore water stress yon. Okay? So and since merong flow or may pressure dyan kasi nga nagbago magkaiba. So may pressure and that is also an upward seepage, kasi mas mataas itong point na to kaysa dito. Okay? So upward seepage mangyayari dyan ay may pressure yan. So tinusukan natin ang tubo and then the head reading is 4.5. Then to find the pore water pressure at point A, so we have to multiply the 4.5 by unit weight of water, which is 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter. Yun lang yun. Yun na yung sagot doon. Ayan Okay? So, napakadali lang. So, 9.81 times 4.5. Okay? Huwag kayo malilito. Hindi ito Hindi yung depth dito. Kasi nga, may pressure siya Okay? May pressure. We have to consider also the pressure induced by water. Yan. Okay, the next problem is calculate the height of the water H. So, yun, pinapahanap na yung H. Okay, in the cut so that the stability of the saturated clay is not lost. Okay, yung ano daw ba? Ano daw ba yung tamang height niyan? Yung tamang level ng tubig diyan so that yung ating clay ay hindi mabubuwag, hindi in critical point siya, in critical. And sa critical point, yung ating effective stress natin ay equal to 0. Okay? Equal to 0. So yung effective stress at that point is equal to 0. Okay? So kaya yan So PE sub E is equal to 0. Okay? Dyan critical yung ating stability. Okay? So, parang same logic dun sa hydraulic gradient, critical hydraulic gradient. Okay? But this time, ang ginamit niyang condition is yung effective stress is equal to 0. Okay? And the effective stress is the difference between the total stress and the pore water stress at that point. Ano? Okay. And, yun, pagmamainusin lang natin yun, pagmamainusin lang natin, equate lang natin. So, PT minus P sub W, pag minusin lang natin, and then equate it into 0. Okay? Equate natin into 0. Okay? And we will get the answer for the value of H, 0.626 meter rather. So, yun yung height doon sa ating kanal. Kung saan ay stable pa din yung ating clay. Pero pag tumaas pa doon, pag tumaas pa yung H doon, ibig sabihin ay magkakaroon ng pagtagas yung lupa. Mabubuwag na siya. Ano na siya. Unstable na yung ating clay doon. Ano? So, I hope ay naintindihan yung concept. Ano? Yan. Pero pag mas mababa dyan, pag mas mababa dito, okay lang. Okay lang. Ang wag lang is mas tataas. Okay? Mas tataas. Okay? Yan. Yan. Okay. 0.626. And next problem ay for the system shown in the figure 4.13. So the L is equal to 1.2 meters and H is equals to 2.3 meters and Y is equals to 1.9. So given yan. Ayun. Nandiyan. Lagyan na natin. So yan yung ating soil testing. So may soil sa loob and may having a length L and merong Y that is the depth from the soil surface up to the inlet water surface, ano? And the outlet water surface is hanggang dyan. Ito yung H natin. And yun. So 0.7 given yung mga dimension. Nung ipinlat lahat ay naging ganyan. Ganyan. So HA lang yung wala and H1. Ayan. So ang tanong is what is the effective stress at point A where J is equals to 0.7. Okay, where J is equals to 0.7. Okay. So 0.7 ibig sabihin yan yung hinahanapan natin ng pressure. Ano? So and since there is the flow of water, so may seepage diyan. Ano? May seepage and therefore kailangan nating tusukan ng piezometer or tube. Ano? Para malaman kung ano yung pressure head reading dun sa point A. Okay? Okay. So, what is the effective stress at point A? So, yun na. So, kunin natin yung total stress, syempre. Yung total stress niya sa point A. And also, the pore water pressure dun sa point A. So, unahin natin yung pore water pressure, ano? So, kailangan nating makuha yung pore water pressure and total stress. But this time, siyempre, kailangan, hindi given, hindi natin alam eh. Hindi natin alam to eh. Okay? So, paano natin malalaman? Dito natin kukunin. Dito sa 2.3 na yan. And doon sa 1.2. Ano, yung H over L natin. Yung H over L, which is our hydraulic gradient or the energy gradient, sometimes called, ano, H over L, and that is also equals to H1 over Z. Nasaan yung H1 over Z na yun? Yun yung nakatutok na tube doon sa ating point A. Ano? So, H1 over yung A, yung Z, yun yung 0.7. Ano? 0.7. So, so unahin natin yung H. Simula. Doon, tawag dito, doon sa pinakailalim. So, yung head reading doon, yung difference in head, is ito. So, 2.3 divide yung total length. Doon dumalo yung tubig, di ba? Okay, so 1.2. 2.3 divide 1.2. Yun yung I natin. And we have to equate it into next hydraulic gradient. Ano? Yung H1 over 0.7. So, yung H1 over 0.7, ito yun. Ito yun. Yung difference dito naman, yung tubig dito at tubig dito. H1 over yung dinaluyan ng tubig niya, siyempre. Yung dinaluyan ng tubig niya, ito at ito. So, 0.7. Okay? 0.7 siya. Okay? And, alin pa? Ayun. So, pagka inequate natin yan, makukuha natin yung H1. Tama? That is 1.3417 meter. Okay, yan yung H1. Okay, and to find the HA, so kailangan natin gamitin yung H1. Ano lang, pa-plus-plus lang, plus-minus lang natin, ano. So, to find the pa-plus lang natin to. Yan, H1. So, para makuha yan, yung HA is ima-minus natin saan? Sa dito, sa 0.7 plus 1.9, ano? 1.9 plus natin sa 0.7 and then i-minus natin dun sa H1. Then, magbibigay ng sagot na HA. Okay? So, yun yung ating HA, oh. Tama, oh. Yan. 0.7 plus 1.9 minus 1.3, yun yung H1. So, yung HA, yung head reading at point A is 1.2583 meters. Okay. Yan. Okay, meron na tayong details ng ating head reading doon sa point A. So, pwede na natin kunin yung effective stress at that point, ano? Okay, unahin muna natin kunin is the total stress at point A. So, paano kunin yon? So, magsimula tayo sa binubuhat nung point A. Anong binubuhat niya? Yung kasama itong tubig nito, yung pressure due to this tubig, water na yan, lahat na yan, binubuhat niya yan. Okay? So, yung pressure niyan, due to induced water ay ito. So, 9.81 times itong length na to, yung depth na yan, times 1.9. And then, yung saturated unit weight of the soil multiplied by 0.7. Yun yung total stress. Tingnan natin kung tama. Okay? So, 9.81 times 1.9, ito yung galing dun sa ibabaw. Yung tubig, galing dun sa inlet water, yan, 9.81 times 1.9. Plus yung saturated unit weight 19.5 times yung 0.7, yung tinuro ko kanina. So, total stress pa lang yan. Pag sinabi mong total, kakasama dyan, kasama ang tubig, and also kasama yung certain part of the soil na binubuhat nung point A na yan. Yung point A na yan. Okay? So, but the question is the effective stress. So, kailangan natin yung pore water pressure, stress. So, that is unit weight of water multiplied by the head reading at this point A. So, ito yung HA times 9.81. This will give us the answer 12.344. Ayan, 9.81 times yung HA. So, 12.344. Ito yung ima-minus natin doon sa total pressure natin. Minus natin yan and that would give the answer, effective stress ang makukuha natin doon. So, 32.289 minus 12.344. Okay? So, ito na yung sagot. Yan yung hinahanap natin. Effective stress at point A during the test. 19.945 kilopascal. Okay, kilopascal. Okay, next problem is this. So, yan. Pag sinabing stress in soil, meron tayong tinatawag na normal stress and the shearing stress. Okay, so hindi lang vertical stress, So, included din yung mga normal stress and shearing stress. Again, from our soil mechanics, so the normal stress that is perpendicular to the area, and the tangential or the shearing stress is parallel to the area of contact, Yan. So, but this time in soil element, given yung ating stress and yung soil element, ito yung soil element. So, subjected to the shearing stress and normal stress siya. Subjected siya. So, yung sigma y, that is the normal stress with respect to y-axis, Normal stress with respect to y-axis. Yan, sigma y, magkaparehas lang yan nasa baba. Magkasalungat siya. Magkasalungat. Okay? Yung ating sigma x naman, yan yung normal stress with respect to the x-axis, Kaya sigma x yan. And then yung ating mga tau dyan, yan tau. Ayan yung ating shearing stress or the tangential stress. And, given yan, naka-given, anong mga value daw niyan, giniven. So, 120 yung sigma, yung normal stress with respect to x. So, yan yung horizontal normal stress yan. And itong 300 kilopascal, yan yung normal stress with respect to y-axis, And then yung tau, yung shearing stress at the soil element is yan, given din, that is 40 kilopascal. 40 kilopascal. Now, calculate the normal stress and shearing stress on plane AB lang in kilopascal. So, nasan yung plane AB? Ayan. So, giniben, Ito yung plane AB. Ano daw yung mga stress dyan? Normal stress and yung shearing stress dyan. Okay? One of the best way to find the key answer is use the Mohr circle. Ayan. Ito, apply natin yung knowledge natin sa Mohr circle. Okay? But this time, unahin muna natin yung basic rules, basic rules pag i-input ng ating mga value dun sa Mohr circle. Okay? So, lagay natin yung XY plane. So, ito yung XY plane. And yung sigma X natin, alin yon? Yun yung 120. Okay? Sigma X yon. And then yung sigma Y, yun yung 300. 300. And then yung mga tau natin, shearing stress, so parallel siya dun sa surface, dapat. So 40. 40. And yung direction indicated. Indicated dyan sa figure, yung direction nila. Okay? And take note that pag nagpa-plot tayo sa Mohr circle, yung ating vertical axis will be our tangential stress. Yung papunta dito, pagbasa vertically, yan yung ating tangential stress or the shearing stress. Okay? At any some point doon sa soil element. And the horizontal axis natin, dyan binabasa, yung sigma, yung mga normal stress. Okay? And yung sign convention, okay, yung sign convention yung sign convention ng sigma natin, yung sigma, is positive kapag compression. Ano pag sinabing compression? Iko-compress niya yung element. So, negative, negative, sorry. Magne-negative siya. Just like sa ating mga theory, ang mga mechanics problem, ina-assume natin lagi na positive tension. So, meaning to say, the compression is in negative. So, negative kapag compression, Yan. So, okay? So, pag ipinalat natin yung sigma y, mga sigma y and sigma x, so, titingin tayo dito. So, gaya nung unang point. So, itong sigma x muna tayo. So, sa sigma x and yung shearing stress na 40. Okay, i-plot natin sa Mohr circle. Ganito yan. So, ito yon. So, imagine nyo, wala muna nakalagay dyan. Ito yung shearing stress reading and ito yung normal stress. So, nasan yung 120? Okay, so nandito sa point na yun. Yun yung 120 o 120. So, negative siya because compression. Okay, negative siya. So, pagpapunta doon, positive yan. Positive sigma. Positive normal stress. So, but this time ay lahat dito kasi sa figure ay compress lahat, pa-compress. Compress. So, negative siya. Tama? And then, yung shearing stress nakatapat nun. So, bakit naging positive 40? Kasi, ang tendency kasi tendency kasi nito, yung sigma x, di ba? Ito. Ang tendency ng tau is to rotate the element clockwise. Okay? Clockwise. Itong tau na to, so, maro-rotate siya. Due to this shear, maro-rotate siya clockwise. So, pag clockwise, positive siya. Okay? Positive shear. Okay? Kaya nangyari dyan is positive shear. Papunta doon, positive. Pero pag pababa, so negative shear Ulit. So, yung shear natin, ang basahan ay ito. Yung vertical axis na yan. And yung normal stress natin, ang basahan ay ayan. Horizontal axis natin. Okay? Kailan magne-negative yung normal stress? Kapag compress. Yung normal stress is to compress the element. So, negative siya. negative 120. And kailan magpa-positive naman yung ating normal stress? Kapag pahila. So, compression, ano. So, how about the shearing stress? Paano naman? Kailan nagpa-positive? So, kapag ang tendency nung ating stress na yon is to rotate the element clockwise. Ano? So, positive siya. So, pamula doon, bibilang ka ng 40 units. And yun na yun. So, yun na yung shearing stress doon. Okay? Dito sa sigma x, ha? Dito, sigma x. Yan. Kasi ang tendency kasi nito is to rotate the element clockwise. Ano? Pero kung baligtad yan, kung pa ganon, is counterclockwise ay baligtad ang pababa. Bali, mangyayari, sa halip na pataas yung basa natin is pababa. Ano? Negative 40. Okay? So, yun, na-plot na natin yung unang point. So, with respect to x pa lang yung naipa-plot natin, yan yun. And, ayan o, kaya may x dyan. So, with respect to x, itong point na to. Yan, negative 120, 40. Yan yung ating unang stress with respect to x. And the next is yung with respect to y naman. So, with respect to y, so compression ulit yung ating sigma y. So, meaning, ang basa niyan is negative pa rin, ano? Negative pa rin. So, negative 300 pamula doon sa ating origin. So, papunta doon. So, negative 300. Okay? So, pagpapunta doon, so positive. Pagpahila ay compression, kaya negative to. Okay? So, how about the shearing stress at that point? At that point. So, ito yung kanyang direction. So, ang tendency ng shearing stress dito is to rotate the element counterclockwise. Okay? Kapag ganyan, i-rotate mo yung, due to the shearing stress, ang tendency ng element is to rotate counterclockwise, ay negative yung ating shearing stress. That's why ang basa dito is pamula dun sa origin natin, negative 40. Okay? And then, i-connect lang natin yung dalawang point, i-connect lang natin. Yan, connect lang natin. Yan. So, yun yung magiging diameter of the Mohr circle natin. Okay? Yung dalawang point na yon. And, ang tinatanong kasi, yung effective stress dito, yung stress nga at plane AB. Okay? So, yan. So, yung theta na yan, i-plot natin dito sa theta of the plane. So, pamula doon sa linyang to, pamula dyan, ito yung pinlot natin kanina, di ba? So, 2 theta yung magiging angle ng plane AB sa Mohr circle. Okay, ito yung plane AB sa Mohr circle. So, yung theta na magiging angle doon between the XY plane, yan, itong XY plane na to, papunta doon is 2 theta. Lagi yon 2 theta. Or twice the angle of the plane, with respect to horizontal, Twice nito, so magiging 40 yan. Yun yung angle. Yun yung angle between the plane, between the axis XY and this plane. So, yun. So, magiging 40 yan. Always yun, 40. So, kung yun ay 25 degree, so ibig sabihin hindi 40 ito, magiging lang siya, 50 degrees, yan. And yung ating pag binilugan natin yan, lahat yan, yung mga point na yan, pag binilog natin yan, yung tinatawag nating Mohr circle. And the diameter or the radius, ito yan, radius na yan. And then also equal din ito doon, circle siya, And yung ating part na to, yung point na yan yung tinatawag natin na nandyan yung ating minor principal stress. And dun sa maximum naman, nandun yung ating major principal stress. Okay? Okay. Ito namang mga stress na to, ito ay with respect to x and y axis. Ang hinahanap natin is yung stress dito sa point na ito, sa plane na yan. So, paano makukuha yan? So, trigo lang yan. Ang kailangan nating makuha is yung stress dito. Normal stress ito. And ito naman, pamula dito, yan yung ating shearing stress at plane AB. Okay? Yan. Shearing stress at plane AB. Ito yun. Oh. Ito. So, ito yung origin natin, di ba? 0, 0. So, at point A, yun yung ating shearing stress. Ano? Yung TAB. Yan. Tau AB. Yan. Yan yung ating shearing stress at plane AB. While the normal stress at plane AB, ito yun. Okay? So, yung sigma AB na yan. Sigma AB. Yun yung hinahanap natin. So, paano natin mahanap? Okay? So, using trigo, kailangan natin kunin lang, ito lang. Yung line na yan. So, paano makukuha yan? So, kailangan natin ng angle and nung radius. Okay? Angle and nung radius ng ating circle. Ano? And also yung angle P. Kailangan natin yan, yung angle P. So, paano makukuha yan? So, using knowledge in trigonometry, so kung ito ay 40 degree, so meaning ito ay 40 degree din. Okay? And itong alpha na yan, so paano makukuha yung alpha na yan? Using trigo ulit, 300 minus 120. Okay? Di ba may magiging sagot doon? That is equal to 180. Di ba? 180. So, kung i-divide nyo sa 2, ito yon, yung linya na yan. Okay? Kung i-divide nyo sa 2, ay 90 ang magiging sagot. Okay? That's why mayroong 90 dyan. And itong 40, yan yung shearing stress at in X direction. So, positive yan. Ano? Positive. So, para makuha yung angle alpha, so, tangent lang. Tangent of alpha is equals to 40 over 90. So, may makukuha na tayong alpha doon. Alin yon? Ayan o. Ito siya. 40 over 90 arctan para makuha yung ating 23.96. Okay? So, kapag nakuha na natin yung angle doon, dyan sa part dito, so, pwede na nating makuha, alin? Yung radius. Kailangan muna natin kunin yung radius. Ano? So, yun yung radius. And, square root lang nito. 40 squared, 90 squared, square root the answer. Then, makukuha na yung ating radius ng circle. Ito yon. Yan. 98.49. So, ang target value natin is, unahin natin is yung shearing stress. Ito muna. At plane AB. Ito yon. Okay, so paano makukuha yan? Kailangan natin ng angle P and yung radius. Pwede tayong sine. Opposite over hypotenuse is equals to sine ng P. Ano yung value ng P? Okay? Ano yung value ng P? So, as you can see in the figure, so tuwid yan tuwid. So, 180 degrees yan, ang total angle yan. Okay? So, para makuha mo itong value nito, so we have to deduct the value of this angle, alpha, and the 40 degree. Kuha agad yung P. Okay? Kasi alternating angle tong dalawa. So, kuha agad yung P. So, yun. Pwede nating magamit yun para makuha yung ating tangential stress at plane AB. Okay? Okay, so sine lang. Magsa-sine lang tayo. Sine of P is equivalent to this opposite over hypotenuse na radius. Okay, tingnan natin sa solution niya. Ayan. So, ayun, nasa baba. Ano. So, negative siya kasi nasa ilalim siya Negative. So, R sine ng P. Anong nangyari? Okay, so yung radius parang nangyari dito is nakaganyan. Tapos, ito yung ating triangle. Ito yung P. And ito yung R. And ito yung tau with respect to plane AB. So, sine ng P, ito, is equivalent to shearing stress over radius, hypotenuse. Why negative? Dahil pababa siya. So, bakit nag-negative? Dahil pababa siya Pababa yung kanyang ayun So, di ba sabi ko, ang basa ng ating shearing stress is vertical, So, pababa at pag So, pababa siya. So, that's why negative yung ating shearing stress dyan. Yun na yung sagot doon. Substitute yung value ng R and also yung P. So, 88.49 yung shearing stress Saan? Doon sa ating plane AB. Okay? So, yon 88.49. But how about the shearing or the normal stress rather? Ito. Yan. Paano makuha yan? So, kailangan nating i-apply ulit yung trigo. Trigo lang ng trigo yan. Basta may more circle. Trigo lang tayo. Okay? So, kailangan natin kunin yung maliit na linya na to. Yan. Ano yan? So, mag-ano tayo dyan? Magko-cosine tayo, no? Cosine. And then, kasi ang target natin, itong linya na to. Yung dimension na yan. And that is equivalent to the normal stress at plane AB. Ano? Para makuha ito, so, kailangan muna nating kunin ito. So, and then, yun yung ima-minus natin dito sa 210. 210. Tama? So, paano nakuha nga pala yung 210 na yan? Paano nakuha? So, nakuha natin yung 90 kanina, di ba? So, plus mo lang ng 120. Okay? Plus mo lang ng 120 and that is equivalent to 210. Okay? So, yung 210, minusan natin ito, nitong maliit na to, kuha itong sigma AB na yan. Yan yung ating normal stress at plane AB. Okay? Okay, kunin natin. So paano siya? So, kunin natin, ano? So, so kunin muna natin ay yung length, itong dimension na yan. Okay, paano makukuha yan? So, cosine. R cosine ng P. Ayan, o. Tingnan natin. R cosine ng P. Ito yon. Yan, yung part na yan. And yan yung ima-minus natin. Saan? Sa 210. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina. Okay? Minus natin ng 210. Ito kasi siya eh. Yan, di ba? So, minus natin to. Ito yung nakuha natin dyan. Na R cosine ng P. Okay? 210 minus R cosine ng P. Okay? Ito yung lalabas. And yung sagot dyan is negative. Dahil compression siya, no? Papunta siya doon, ano? So, negative. Ayun, no? That's why ganito nangyari. Ayan, nag-negative yan. So, 210 minus yung maliit na R cosine ng P, lalabas yung sigma or the normal stress at plane AB. Ano? Yan. Ganun lang yung nagamit ng Mohr circle. Ano? So, consider also the sign convention and yung mga rotation natin. Ano? Yan. So, next question tayo. So, for the stress soil elements shown in figure 4.15. So, ganun pa din yung example niya. So, this time is also given yung normal stress and the shearing stress, that is 60. So, yung normal stress with respect to y, ito yon sigma y yan. And normal stress with respect to x, ito yung sigma x. So, and then yung plane na hinahanapan natin, the target value is ito. So, 45 degrees daw. 45 degrees. So, calculate the major principal stress. So, sinabi ko kanina na yung major principal stress ay yung dulo nung ating ito. Yan. Yan yung major principal stress and minor principal stress ay yan. Ayan, yung binulugan kong yan. So, this time, yun naman yung tinatanong. Minor and major principal stress and also yung normal stress and shearing stress at plane AE. So, yun, tinanong din. So, same lang din sa kaninang tanong yan, ano? Yan. Okay, plot muna natin. Plot muna natin yung with respect to X muna tayo. With respect to X. Dito tayo titingin. So, compression yung 90 PSI. So, negative siya. So, imagine nyo, wala pa yung drawing na yan. So, ang meron pa lang dyan is itong shearing axis natin and yung ating normal stress axis. Ano? Yan. So, yan pa lang. And yung 90 PSI is compression siya. So, that's why papunta ka doon. Bibilang ka ng 90 units. So, negative 90. Okay? And yung shearing stress at that point is 60 PSI. So, that it tends to rotate the soil element clockwise direction. That's why positive siya, no? Positive 60. Okay, so pamula dito sa zero origin, pataas, so positive 60, ayun. Yun na yung point of the shearing and normal stress in the X direction. How about in the y direction? So, dito tayo titingin sa, yan, 150 PSI. So, compression pa din. So, kinocompress niya yung element, meaning to say, the direction of the normal stress is negative, negative sign siya, pagdating sa Mohr circle. So, negative sign. And yung, tingnan natin. So, yan. So, negative siya. Ayun, kaya nagkaroon ng negative dito. Ito yung point na yun. So, bakit naging negative 60 yung kanyang ordinate? So, dahil ang kanyang, yung direction ng shearing stress at with respect to y is to rotate, ayan So, due to the 60 psi in that direction, magro-rotate siya pa ganun, di ba? Okay? So, magro-rotate siya. Magiging negative tuloy yan. So, kaya naging negative 60. And then, kukonect lang natin yung dalawang point na yan, connect natin ng straight line. Okay, straight line. And then, bilugan natin. Yun na yung ating Mohr circle. Okay? Yung magko-coincide na perimeter of the circle dun sa x and y plane, x plane, o yung sigma plane or normal stress plane. So, yun yung ating major principal stress dito. Sa kabila naman, yung mas maliit, that is only minor principal stress. Okay? So, and i-plot din natin yung plane AB kasi tinatanong yung stress at plane AB daw. Pero kung hindi tinanong, ay okay na to. Makukuha na natin yan without using this, without any plane AB. Plane AE, sorry. Okay? So, yung plane AE natin, so 45 degrees. 45 degrees siya. So, pag-plot natin sa ating Mohr circle, so, pamula doon sa XY na plane natin, papunta doon. So, yung angle niyan is 2 theta or 2 times 45 and that is 90 degree. So, i-connect din natin yun. I-connect din natin. And that is our plane AE. Okay. Ayan na. Okay. Ang unang target variable natin is yung ating minor stress and principal stress. So, paano makukuha yung minor stress and principal stress na yan? So, kunin muna natin yung radius. Okay? So, paano makukuha yung radius ng ating circle, ng Mohr circle? Ito yon, di ba? Okay. So, pag maminusin muna natin, kunin muna natin yung 150 minus 90 divide 2. Tama? 150 minus 90, ito yung mangyayari. Yan yung kuha. Okay. Then, divide 2. So, 30. Magkakaroon tayo ng 30 dyan. 30. Itong length na to is 30. And ito, yung shearing stress dyan is 60. So, para makuha yung radius is Pythagorean theorem lang. 60 squared, 30 squared, squared the answer. Makuha natin yung radius. And also yung alpha, so arctan lang. 60 over 30 arctangent, yun yung alpha, And yung radius natin, yun. Since yung radius natin, times 2 lang natin. Times 2 natin, mangyayari dyan, so, kunin natin itong yung center of the circle. Kasi alam na natin yung radius Tama? Nakuha na natin yung radius. At ito yung target variable natin. And also ito, major principal stress and also the minor principal stress. Okay? Kukunin natin yung center point. Then, saka natin plusan nung ating radius. Or kaya naman, pag minor, minusan natin yung ating ng radius ito. Okay? So, yan. So we all know that this point is 90. So, i-plus lang natin yung 30 na nakuha natin kanina. Okay? And that is 120. Yan na yung gitna. Okay? So, 120, plusan lang natin yung radius na nakuha natin kanina. And that would give the answer for the major principal stress. Okay? And pag naman minor principal stress, so 120, minusan natin yung radius. Okay? And makukuha natin yung minor principal stress. Tingnan natin kung anong ginawa niya. Okay? So, ayan Okay? So, ang ginawa niya is medyo tama naman, tama, no? Tama. So, 60. So, kasi yung radius. So, mas madali siguro ito. Yun. So, nakuha na kasi natin tong 120. So, plusan lang natin ng itong radius. Tama? So, na yun yung major principal stress. And also, kung minor principal stress naman, minus na natin tong 120 ng radius. Tama? So, yun na yung sagot doon. So, wag nang pahirapan ang sarili, no? Yan. And, ayan pala. Oh, yun din mo palang ginawa. Okay? Plus R and minus R pag minor, no? So, now, to find the normal stress and the shearing stress at plane AE, so we have to use the knowledge in trigonometry. So, kailangan natin kunin yung stress at this point, ano? So, at this point, plane AE, so yung ating shearing stress ay ito. Yan. So, yun yung tau sub AE. And the normal stress ay ito. That is the sigma sub AE. Okay? So, paano kunin yan? So, kailangan natin ng trigo, ano? So, so para makuha to, kailangan ng distance na to. Yan. Or, may given na to, nakuha na natin tong radius, tama? Nakuha natin yung radius. So, kailangan na lang natin kunin is yung value ng P. Just like what we did a while ago. So, kinuha natin yan using the trigo, ano? 180, itong total angle niya, ito yan. Oh. So, 180 itong total, ano? So, kailangan nating i-minus yung alpha and yung 90 degrees. That is also 90. So, makukuha natin yung P. Tama? So, yan ang ginawa niya. Ayan. So, 180 minus 90 minus yung yan, yung angle na nakuha natin, yun yung alpha. Okay? And our P is equivalent to 26.565. So, yun yung P. Okay. Nakuha na to and itong value na to. So, makukuha na natin yung tau using the sine function. Okay, opposite over hypotenuse is equal to sine ng P. So, makukuha na natin yan, ano, yung tau. So, nangyari dyan ay, nasa na yun? So, again, okay. Okay, so, yun. Ito na yun, no? Hindi na lang niya nilagay. Ito. 67. So, sine. Ito na yung sine ng P times yung ating radius. Okay, bakit negative? Dahil nasa baba siya ng pababa siya eh. Pababa siya. Pababa. So, negative siya. Okay? And yun namang ating tawag dito. Itong sigma AE. Yan. So, you can see sigma AE. So, gaya ng pagkuha natin kanina. So, 120 minus itong maliit na ito. Yan. So, magko-cosine muna tayo dito para makuha itong maliit na yan. Then, minus natin ng 120. Okay? So, yung maliit na yan is equivalent to the r cosine ng P. Then, i-minus natin ng 120. Yun yung sagot sa sigma AE. Okay? Ayan o. Sigma AE. R cosine. Ito yun. R cosine ng P. Minus natin ng 120. And negative sign siya dahil pa-compress. Compression siya eh. Pa-compress siya. So, negative. Okay? So, yun. And, next problem ulit tayo. Ganun ulit. Ganun ulit yung ating problem. Same halos. Ano? So, last problem ito. Sample problem in chapter 4. Okay? Soil element given. Ang pinapakuha. Same pa din. Maximum and principal stress. So, but this time in plane AB naman siya. Plane CD. Ayan. Na may angle na with respect to horizontal. So, 35 degrees siya. Yan. So, i-plot natin sa Mohr circle. So, mangyayari dyan is yan. Ito yung tau. And ito yung mga sigma natin. So, i-plot natin yung una. So, with respect to x-axis muna tayo. Saan tayo titingin? Ito. So, yung sigma, yung 80 kilopascal, yun yung sigma x. Okay, and 40, it tends to rotate the soil element counterclockwise. Okay, counterclockwise. That's why negative yan, ano, negative. Ayan o. As you can see, ano. So, negative 80, papunta doon. And, negative 40, pababa. Kasi counterclockwise, ika-counter na yung ano eh. Tends to rotate the soil element counterclockwise. So, negative 40. And with respect to the vertical axis naman, y-axis, so 120 compression pa din, so negative pa din ang sign niya. And it tends to rotate, this 40 kilopascal tends to rotate the soil element clockwise. So that's why positive. Ayun, yun ang nangyari. Oh. Yan. And then, afterwards, i-connect natin yung dalawang point na yan. Connect natin, and then draw tayo ng circle. That is our Mohr circle. Ano? Mohr circle natin yan. And, i-plot natin sa Mohr circle itong plane CD. So, paano ipa-plot? So, 2 times 35, 70 yun. 2 times 35, 70. Ito yun, no? Okay. So, 70. So, that is the inside angle between the plane XY and plane CD. Okay? And, ganun pa din yung pag kuha ng mga value. Ano? Unang pinapahanap is major principal stress and minor principal stress. Pero ang dapat nating makuha muna is alin? Yung ating radius. So, paano makukuha yung radius? So, 120. So, ganito ang nangyari dyan, ano? So, 120, ito, minus ito, 40, di ba? 40. So, ang mangyayari dyan, 18, okay, 40. So, 40 divide 2, ito na yun. Okay? So, kaya nagkaroon ng 20 dyan na maliit. Kaya nagkaroon ng 20 na maliit dito. Kasi 40 itong dalawa. Okay? So, yun yung 20. And then, using the tangent, kumakuha na natin yung alpha. 40 over 20 are tangent ng alpha. So, kuha yung alpha, no? Yan. And, so, para makuha yung minor, ito, major principal stress, and itong minor. So, kailangan natin kunin yung point nung gitna nung circle muna. Okay, point nung gitna nung circle. And also, kailangan natin kunin yung radius nung circle. So, paano makuha yung radius ng circle? So, 40 squared plus 20 squared, square root the answer. Okay, yun yung ating, yan o, yan ang ginawa nyo. So, and then, the minor principal stress, so, 100 lang. So, paano nakuha yung 100? So, we all know that in this figure, so 80 hanggang dito. Okay, so plusan lang natin ng 20. So, kaya naging 100 to. So, yun yung gitna ng ating circle. So, all we need to do is to find the value of the major principal stress and minor principal stress. So, ima-minus lang natin pag minor and ipa-plus pag major. Ayan, minus at plus. Okay. Yung radius na nakuha natin. Yung radius na nakuha natin, ayun lang. Okay, ganun lang kasimple. Now, to find the normal and shearing stress on plane CD, yan. Okay, so kailangan natin kunin, ano? So, ang plane CD, nasaan ang plane CD? Ito. So, kailangan natin kunin ito. Yung point na yan, yung stress dyan. So, paano makukuha yan? So, kailangan natin kunin yung beta. Paano ako makukuha yung beta? No? So, yung beta na yan is, di ba, ang total nito is 180. So, maminusan lang natin ng 70 at yung alpha na nakuha. 180 minus 70 minus yung alpha, kuha natin yung beta. Right? Okay? And since meron na tayong R, pwede na nating makuha yung TCD. Yung tau CD. Ano? So, paano? Magsa-sign tayo. Sign, yung ating TCD would be is equivalent to R sine ng beta. R sine ng beta. Tingnan natin kung tama. R sine ng beta. So, wala dyan. Ito yon. Ayun, tama oh. R sine ng beta. Okay, kung ano yung R, substitute lang natin. And kung ano yung beta, substitute. And yung ating tau for the plane CD is 32.474 kilo Pascal. Okay? So how about the shearing, the normal stress at that point, at that plane? So ito yung hinahanap. Ayan. Okay? So kailangan natin itong maliit na to. So magko-cosine tayo diyan. Itong length na to is equivalent to R cosine ng beta. And then ima-minus natin saan yan? Dito natin ima-minus sa 100. 100, 100 minus yung maliit na yon ay makukuha natin yung ating sagot. Makukuha natin yung ating sagot. Ayan, kaya ganito nangyari. R cosine ng beta minus 100. And then positive siya, negative. Negative siya dapat, tama? Negative siya. So negative dapat to. Negative. So papunta siya dun eh. Okay? Negative. So, negative siya. So, hindi siya, kasi ang sign nitong 100 is negative. Okay? Kaya dapat ay negative yan. So, hindi lang, basta negative dapat yan, Kasi, normal stress is to the left siya eh. To the left, Negative, oh. So, ganun ang mangyayari dyan. So, yun. So, thank you and goodbye.